Hello everybody, this is Sherry at djsundry.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to make an anniversary card for you. Now this is a little bit different than what I normally make because it's larger. I'm going to be making, first of all, a 5x7 card. And so let me show you some things that I definitely plan to use, and then we're just going to kind of create and see what we come up with. So I am using this matte stack, the Matte Stack Neutrals from Die Cuts with a View, and this one is called the Matchmakers 2. I purchased this quite a long time ago. It's a textured white core. I'm assuming it's still available, but I really don't know. So, but I'm using that. I'm using, from K & Company, I'm using this Julienne Designer Matte Pad, which is just a gorgeous pad. It has the same papers all throughout, but in several different color combinations. You see kind of this almost teal to blue green. There's blue. There's several different colors of blue. There's a green, kind of a chartreuse, and pink and darker green, just all sorts of beautiful. And I'm using actually two different colors of blue out of that, a lighter and the darker. I am going to be using some satin pearls from Prima, and I already have those set aside. I'm going to be using some of the stamps from this Tim Holtz. This is the Heartfelt collection, and I've stamped this one. I know I'm using. I've stamped this one that says, "When I see love defined, I look at you," and I've stamped this butterfly. Whether we use it or not, we'll have to see. Then from Hero Arts, I have this, I think it's called All Occasion Messages, and I'm going to be using the Happy Anniversary stamp. And then this is from Tim Holtz. This is the Papillion set, and I am using this one definitely, and this one definitely. I may be using this one more. I haven't decided for sure yet. Again, we're just going to see how it all falls together. So I am also using from 3 Girl Jam, I'm using from the Hot and Cold bundle, I'm using Ice Blue. I have some old postage stamps here that I picked up at Bemuse, and these are kind of blue in the color scheme. I may or I may not be using those. I don't know. I use my Smash stamp, and this is very faint and on the inside of the card, and it's going to have the recipient's anniversary date in it. And then I'm also using at least one, maybe more, vintage button from 3 Girl Jam. So there's some other things. We'll just have to see if we use it. The ink that I use is this Jenny Boland soap powder, and I forgot I had this, and I was trying to find the perfect blue to tie all these colors together, and then I remembered I had this, and it was the perfect blue. So let's get going on a card. I am starting with paper tray ink, and this is vintage cream cardstock. Now I've kind of messed up the back already. I'm not too worried about it. I may mess with it and clean it up. I probably won't. And I've already stamped on the back, "Handmade just for you" by, and I'll get it signed. And I cut this at 10 inches long. On the 11th side, I just cut off an inch, and then on the 8.5 side, I cut it down to 7. So that gives me a nice 5x7 card. And then this is where I've used all those stamps, and I have stamped over and on top of. I've used the I've created kind of my own collage background. I use my heart stamp. I use the big stamp from the Tim Holtz set. I use the little one here. Sometimes I went over the top so things stand out. Now these in the middle, I knew that I was covering up the middle of the card. So this is a quick tip for you. If you aren't sure what color of ink you want to use, and you know it won't seep through, which in this paper tray ink cardstock, not much. I mean, it would take a pretty dark ink to sink through, I think. But I decided to stamp it in the middle because I knew that it wouldn't go to waste because I'm covering over the top of that anyway. In fact, you'll see very little of this background collage, all these images, because I'm covering over a good portion of that. but I just wanted to show you after I stamped this all over, which doesn't look like much now, but it is very pretty when I put it together. But after I stamped around it, I took my little makeup wedge here and the same soap powder, and I just inked around the edges. So now this is where this piece comes in. This is my blue piece, and now you see what a nice match that is, but you see how it's just the collage. And yes, I probably took a little bit more time on it than what I really needed to, but that's okay. It's I just think it looks pretty the way it turned out. So let's go ahead and start building the rest of our card. And I'm going to put this blue piece on, and I know I'm kind of off camera there, but this is going to cover, and I'm just going to center that right in the middle. Now this particular piece of mat, I didn't even cut or anything. I just pulled it out of the pad and put it right there in the middle. So there's the beginning of our mat stack. Of our card. Now, before I go any further, I want to show you that I have already finished the inside. I took the lighter of the stripe paper because I'm using the darker color of the stripe on the outside, and I just put it in. And the reason I chose the lighter one is because I believe that I can write my message right over the top if I use black ink or even a really dark blue ink, and I'll be able to write right over the top. Up here's where I stamped the very faintly. I have the date of their anniversary. Actually, I did it down here too. It was kind of upside down. I'm not too worried about it. And then I also stamped that little heart on there. This blue's a little bit different blue, but I thought it coordinated well enough that I could put it in there and I wouldn't have to remat to finish off the end. If I don't like the way it looks, that's fine. I'll just go back and I'll just do like a vintage cream mat or just a plain colored mat and ink around the edges if I don't like the way that it looks when I write on it. But I think it's going to be fine for the message I want on the inside. So there's my my outside. The inside's done. The outside we're moving to. And so this is the darker piece of blue that I chose, and I inked around the edges with the soap powder as well. And then I pulled this doily from Allen Thistle, and before I put this down, I want to take care of the doily. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of ATG and put it back here. Now I don't really want to stack to adhere my whole doily down, because I want to be able to tuck things behind it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to decide about where I want it, which is probably going to be about like that. I'm sticking to it. I'm going to just cut a little slit in that, and I'm just going to fold it around to the back and make sure it's adhered down. Now these doilies from Allen Thistle are very pretty. They are also somewhat delicate, so you do have to be careful with them. But I just want to wrap this around and put a little more ATG here and just wrap it around. And I may not even adhere it down in the front any more than that. We'll just have to decide as the project goes along how well it's holding up. And I'll just trim off some of that excess. And then I think what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down now that I have my doily tucked, because nothing else will be probably going around behind it. I hope I don't regret that, because I just thought of something I was thinking about doing, but we'll just see how it goes. So let's just center that on the blue mat, just like so. Okay. So now we've got that piece down. Now I thought about inking around the edges, and I think I still can. I hadn't really decided, but now that I have it all adhered down, I think I wish that I had. So I'm just going to gently and very lightly just ink around it. Now I have to say that this is a dye-based ink pad, so you kind of have to, it doesn't necessarily, it's not quite as easy to distress something with it as it seems to be, for me anyway, as it seems to be with the Tim Holtz Distress ink or with a pigment ink. Okay, so there we have that. Now, I made a flower out of my blue paper, out of my blue ribbon. And it's kind of a little bit catawampus, but that's okay. Then this is where I'm going to just decide what I'm doing. I have a piece of this, it's again from the same stack, a piece of this paper, and I kind of fussy cut some things out of it. I don't know what I'm going to use, but there's one piece, and here's a heart. I've got a little the little thing here that says happy anniversary, which I may use there. Kind of centering it over there. Now this one, I was thinking about putting up there to kind of balance that, and I kind of like that, but the problem is remember I said I might regret having stuck that down, and I think this is where I'm going to regret it, because I think I would have wanted to bring this all the way around the back, but maybe, just maybe, I can come up with something different here. You know, I think what I'm going to do, give myself a little bit of extra here to play with, and I think that maybe I'm going to just do this. Trim this off. Just tie a little knot. Just like that. Oh yeah, I like that. All right. So that's going to come up here, and I'll go back and finish that in a minute. And then I have these other things. Now, the person I'm making this for really likes butterflies, and so I thought I'd stick a butterfly maybe up in the corner. Maybe by that. This is just a Tim Holtz tag. This is Captures Life's Moments. And then I have, this is where I have the When I See Love Defined. Here's another butterfly that I stamped from the Tim Holtz, kind of bended up. That might be a little bit much. Maybe I'll take this out. There we go. That's better. And I may not use that one. I've got this London, Paris. Maybe I'll just kind of stick that underneath there. So as you see, I'm just kind of playing with it to see what I want it to do to come together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera, and then I'll be back and I'll show you the final project. Okay, so I'm back and I'm all through. Now I went ahead and pulled up this mat so I could go ahead and pull this around and put this in. This is a Tim Holtz, I don't remember what they're called, but it says Capture Life's Moments, and I just ran that through and tucked the ribbon behind. I used a smaller butterfly from the pack, which is a slightly different blue, but it still coordinates okay. And then the larger butterfly I put right here, and then what I did is I went around the more shadowed parts of it and like the antenna with some diamond, or not diamond, frosted lace stickles. And then I cut my little Prima Bling and I tucked it behind the doily. And then I put my little happy anniversary banner that I hand cut here. And I put this on a thickness of foam tape. Now, on the little butterfly up in the corner, I put his body on one thickness, and then I kind of bent his wings back, and I put that on 2 thicknesses of foam dots, just to give him a little bit more dimension. This butterfly, I just put foam tape right down the middle, and so his wings are free, and I need to be careful not to touch the wings because they're still not quite dry. And then I just taped down my the little Paris, New York sign, and I went ahead and at the last second went ahead and added 1 postage stamp. And I took my little heart behind the doily, and then to adhere the flower, I just glued that down with glossy accents. I also put some glossy accents behind this tag because it tends to move. Another way I've done it is by putting foam tape, but I thought maybe glossy accents would kind of soak through that crinkle ribbon from 3 Girl Jam, and kind of go through both the layers of the crinkle ribbon and attach the tag through the crinkle ribbon onto the card. So there we have, oops, a little bit of adhesive there. There we have my anniversary card. It says happy anniversary, And then the inside is complete as well. So thanks for stopping by today. Have a great day. And remember to take time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.